What's happening? I'm Jamie Stewart from Xiu Xiu. We're at Mo's Books, not at Powell's Books. Mo's Books in Berkeley, not at Powell's Books in Portland. The author is Elfriede Jelinek, and I think Women's Lovers was the first one of her books that I had read, and I think anyone who speaks English had come across her work probably through the movie Piano Teacher. There weren't a bunch of lines that I ripped off totally, but there were like ways that she wrote stuff or parts of lines that just made it into being lyrics that I applied to some other subject matter. So if she wants to sue me, I totally deserve to get sued. Basically, I guess a treatise on the impossibility of love and the impossibility of there being a positive relationship between men and women, but there's this social pressure to stay in a rotten and violent relationship, regardless of whether or not it's good for you to be in it. And that had more or less been my experience my whole life, in relationship with men and in relationship with women. I got about halfway through the book, and somebody who I had previously, kind of dated, but in my usual rotten self, not been very nice to. And then, this is so overly melodramatic, but we ran into each other at a train station in Italy, and I just, took a look at her and was like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. What am I doing? She rules. So I continued to read the book and had this, was finding, like psychologically it was making a lot of sense still, but I was beginning to feel something completely different than the book and wanting to, finally do the right thing and not be a total dick all the time. It almost was really good to have something that I could push against. There was like a before and after shot. Like the book was definitely, oh, okay, this is how I look when, I'm 500 pounds overweight and have really bad skin, and now I'm totally thin and fresh-faced and in love, It was like I could look at it and read it and go, oh God, don't do that anymore, and then go, okay, here's this wonderful person who I can be good to. It became really, really, really important to me, and the whole record's not about that at all. There's maybe, the first song is about that, and then I guess it's probably one of the reasons why we covered Under Pressure.
Pressure, wishing down on me, wishing down on you, no man has poor.
Under Pressure, at least my understanding of it, seems to be about the idea of that love is sort of inherently miserable, but you can't get away from it, and you have to really throw yourself into the sort of misery of it in order to get something from it, potentially.
You had a dream about loss. Within the fruit there are worms, yet still a vow to dare good night. You had a dream about love. Could be you the one who is waiting patiently for me to disregard caution, to feign deafness to wisdom. Could it be you the one?
These are either ones that I've read or just about things that I'm interested in. Okay. This is my very favorite writer, V.S. Naipaul. This is the first book that I read by him. He's of Indian descent but grew up in Trinidad and now lives in London and has traveled all over the Middle East a whole lot. Most of his books kind of tend to be about the same subject, but within different settings, just dealing a whole lot with the idea of place and self and being an outsider, but being an outsider in the grandest sort of way, like being institutionally ostracized or societally ostracized, as opposed to just like, not fitting into, like a group of school kids or something like that. This is a new artist that no one has ever heard of before, David Lynch, totally brand new. There's nothing to say about it at all. There's Spacious Snowman. It's really dumb. It's sort of awesome. This one is really hideous. Has arms, which is all arms and a small bottom, which is all wrong for snowman. It's just patches, I guess, from all these sort of dark, secret societal, militaristic organizations within the United States. Triangulum is apparently about destroying northern Italy with a gigantic popsicle. There's all these fake, not fake, but sort of faux bird of prey types of operations within the U.S. military, but I guess they all have their operational patches. This one is really a little bit ominous. Oh, this is cute. They all talk about just apparently destroying. This one's to kill Groucho Marx, the ultimate assassination of Groucho Marx. The comedy of the horror of the U.S. military occasionally is interesting. I'm always, particularly in Berkeley, which is where we are now, I'm always really sort of stunned by how people have lionized Mao, who killed more people than Hitler did. I read this book a few years ago, and I didn't know anything about him at all, and I kind of, was reading it to be sort of, semi-transgressive, and read about Mao, he's a big hero, but wow, one of the worst people who ever lived. I think it's really confusing, the heroes that people who consider themselves rebels have chosen to foist up, and the people that they have forgotten. And I just think cats are cute. That's all. There's nothing good to say about this, but you can just look how cute this is. How could you not like cats? How could you like a dog? It's impossible to like a dog because cats are 9 million times cuter. When I look at this, I just hate dogs. I just think about how much I hate dogs. Hi, thank you to Accelerator TV and to Homo's Books.
There is no wrong in why we live. There is only wrong, so radical, destroyed for nothing. And I don't care anymore. Remarkable, pulsating creature into his calves, the poison flows. When it is wondrous, it makes us whole. To force a hammer and the nail.